Welcome to Early Bird Picker. My name is Rafa. I'm a reseller. Today is Monday and it is day one of what I'm doing as a special video project is a week in the life of a full-time reseller. Now I want to start out by saying I've only been a full-time reseller for about 4 weeks now, and so I'm still very much in the transition phase from having a job where I had a boss and different being told what to do to being completely my own boss now. And I just want to kind of document the journey that I'm going through right now, being about a month into trying to do reselling full-time and be able to pay all my bills. And so one really encouraging thing was when I did lose my job, I signed up for unemployment, and within the first week of unemployment, I started making too much money from my eBay sales to be able to claim unemployment. And so that's something that I'm really happy about, is that within just week one of having no job, basically, I was able to hit the ground running and start making sales in my eBay business. And so I just want to share this video for anybody that is wanting to make the switch from part-time reselling to full-time, whether you choose to or whether you lose your job or something like that. I just want to share with you my journey and show you day by day what I do throughout the day. I'm gonna I have a stopwatch, and I'm gonna calculate how many minutes per day I spend like thrifting, driving, listing, doing the photos, the prep for the products. I'm gonna categorize all those different things and then tell you at the end of the day how much time I spent doing those things. And so this is not supposed to be a video where I'm saying this is how you should do it. This is more or less just a documentary of how my current practices are, how many minutes a day. I honestly have no idea how many minutes per day or how many hours per day I spend reselling on reselling activities, because when you're working for yourself, you're like, well, that's randomly 2:15. I need to go to the grocery store. And so you go to the grocery store and do your weekly shopping because it's just a nice time of the afternoon to go do that. And so that doesn't, to me, count as reselling. And so by getting a stopwatch, I'm going to be seeing how much time I actually do reselling activities. It could be as low as like 3 hours per day. It could be as much as 7 per 8. But I do get up at a normal time and I just start going from there. I typically start out by shipping out the sales that had come through the night before, hopefully the sales that come through the night before. And like I said, this is still new for me being full-time, and so my sales aren't super great right now. My eBay seller status is not as high as I'd like for it to be, and so therefore my sales don't come through as much because the eBay algorithm ranks your store based on your seller status. And so kind of through this process in the next couple months, I'm really obviously trying to raise my eBay seller status back up to top rated. I don't know how I got sidetracked on that, but basically this is just a week in my life as trying to transition to full-time reseller. And I just want to invite you guys along, like I said, tell you how much time per day I spend doing stuff, and then just show you the things that I get listed per day, any hauls that I have. And so I hope you guys enjoy this kind of different look into my life as a full-time reseller. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe and follow along for this whole week. I was going to add that when I calculate my minutes that I spend per day doing reselling, I'm going to calculate and include my minutes that I spend doing my YouTube videos, because my YouTube is completely about reselling. So I just kind of include that in my reselling, because at some point I do hope to become monetized on YouTube, where YouTube pays you, a little bit for your videos that you make. And so especially because of that, please hit the subscribe. That would really help me out. I thought it'd make sense, since this is day one, Monday of the week, to just show you my setup. I call it, since I'm early bird picker, I call my setup the nest. But basically I'm working out of my garage, and so let me just show you the flow of my garage. Sometimes it's neater than others. Right now it's pretty neat. There's some stuff on the floor behind me, and I'll show you that. I'm trying to give just a really authentic view into my life as a reseller, and so there's ebbs and flows, there's flux, and so sometimes this place looks nicer than others on certain days, and today it's not super nice, but it is fairly organized. And let me just show you the layout of the nest. So here's a look into my garage. Basically, whenever I'm bringing things in, things that I have recently sourced, all right here. You can see this is a huge haul that I had from yesterday, Sunday afternoon. All these Nerf guns. I always say that whenever I'm sourcing, I don't source Nerf guns. They just come to me. That was one of my really big first hauls, and I can talk about that in a bit. But anyway, these shelves here are shelves of stuff that are unlisted, so things that need to be processed. Then it kind of moves through here. here, you can see back here in this corner, I've got a lot of shipping boxes. That's kind of like personal stuff along the back shelves there. And then we get into the listing area. I have my computer set up over in this area, although it is down right now, but I'm using a different computer. And then I have just some storage, and then it gets into, I am really big into selling shoes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tubs of listed shoes right now. And then these shelves are listed areas, listed items as well for the most part. And you can see I've got my, just have a really small photo setup for small things right there. And then I take photos inside my house as well. I've got my ring light there for my photos, and then a ring light here for doing YouTube. And then here is kind of my just everything desk. I do my prep here, my cleaning here, my listing here, my shipping here. This is just kind of my everything desk. As a general rule, I go thrifting 7 days a week. That's just part of being a full-time reseller, and partly just because I love it so much. So anytime I'm out and about for some other thing, I was just out at Dick's buying stopwatch because I'm timing everything I'm doing this week, and so basically if I'm within just like 2 or 3 miles of a Goodwill that I'm not normally by, I'll go ahead and go to it. So here we are at the first Goodwill of the week, and we'll get a stopwatch going and see how long it's been thrifting at this particular Goodwill. I was just at this Goodwill just yesterday afternoon, and I got a huge haul. I'll show you that later in this video. All right, we spent 7 minutes, 39 seconds as a total strikeout at that Goodwill. Like I said, I was just here late yesterday afternoon, so I just made a real quick pass through. I checked hard goods, shoes, and jackets. I'm not much into flipping clothing right now, and so in and out real fast just to check my normal spots. I have another Goodwill that I typically go to. It is a half mile from my house. I'll probably go to it here this morning and then again later this afternoon. Those are the main, Goodwills are the main thrift stores that I go to in my area. And then I also source really heavily with garage sales on the weekends, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. But as for now, those are the two primary ways that I source thrift stores and garage sales. I don't do any of the bins. I don't do really any retail arbitrage. I'll occasionally look for stuff on Marketplace to flip, but I just never find any good deals. So as far as my full-time reselling goes, it depends on garage sales and thrift stores. First thing of the day, I typically like to get into doing my shipping, and so we'll do that here in just a minute, and I'll show you what all sold. First though, I want to show you my haul from yesterday at Sunday at Goodwill. I walked in and I saw these Nike ACG like trail shoes in just spectacular condition. I saw these, the first thing I saw was they were sitting like this, and so I couldn't really tell that they were Nike, but I saw this bungee cord. Anytime you see laces like this that have a zip tie that's like part of the manufacturer, it's not something that somebody put in aftermarket. For whatever reason, shoes like that are often worth good money. The brand that you'll see that a lot on is Solomon. But anyway, I saw these and knew they weren't Solomon, but I just wanted to look into them. And you can see Nike ACG, just super, super clean. These are going for like $150 to $160, even in used condition on eBay. I paid $14.99 for this pair of shoes, and I was just over the moon that they were. I was at the Goodwill where they don't price shoes very high. I have two Goodwills in my town really close to me, or fairly close to me. One's really close, the other is several miles away. But anyway, one prices their shoes up to like $65, $75, and then luckily at this store, this location, the most they price their shoes is about $15. So comment below if you have that situation where you live, is that the Goodwills are just really not in sync with one another. But anyway, so I picked this up and I looked it up. I looked up the sold comps on eBay and saw that it's going for about $150 to $160, and I was like, as part of my, I already had in mind that I was going to do this video project, and I was like, man, basically I walked in, I saw the shoe within the first minute of being in there, because I always check out the shoes. I was like, this is going to pay my phone bill for this month. And so just as part of the project, I thought this is just a really cool demonstration of took less than a minute to pick this at Goodwill, and hopefully this will pay for my cell phone bill. And I would have had to work, a lot more hours at the job that I was working at before to be able to do that. And so I just want to show you this particular shoe from the haul. You saw the Nerf gun haul. My first time ever having a huge haul was a Nerf gun haul about 5 years ago. I was at a garage sale, and they were selling like maybe 40 Nerf guns. I think I paid $25 for them, and a lot of them were really large. And for whatever reason, I've always been really drawn to reselling Nerf guns since then, but I don't particularly look for them because often they're so expensive. Like, people know what they have at garage sales. But this haul, the most I paid for one of those larger Nerf guns is $10. Most of them I paid $6 for. If you follow my channel, you know a lot of times with the Nerf guns you can part those out. Let me show you. Let me show you just a couple of the guns from the haul. This one here is the Nerf Centuron. What you need to know about this particular one, if you find this one, this is a really common one to find. A lot of times this piece right here won't be working. It sounds like it's working, but you gotta make sure that you get the Nerf darts. And so with this is a Nerf Mega. You've got to get the large darts that go with those, and so I had to order those. And so I'll be testing all these here. But anyway, you can see Goodwill prices at 50 cents for this piece right here, and $6 for the gun itself. So I paid $6.50 for this gun. There's two of these, and there's a sold comp on eBay for $60 plus shipping for both these as a pair. I bought this particular Nerf gun, the Nerf Raider CS35. I was really tempted just to part this one out because this particular Nerf gun's not worth that much. You can see they had this drum marked at $1. That's almost what I did. It was just remove this and pay $1 for this, because this particular drum here will go for probably about 15 bucks on eBay, or it's just good to have if you like selling Nerf guns like I do. Also, the shoulder stock right here will go for about $6 to $9. The price on here is $5. They meant for the whole gun, they didn't mean that you could remove this, but this piece here is removable, and you can sell this shoulder stock for, like I said, I think close to 10 bucks maybe. The price varies, but it's good. It's worth selling by itself. For people that are new to my channel, I always try to mention just every so often that my specialty is reselling high-end running shoes. I worked in the run specialty industry for over a decade, and so that's my easiest thing to pick out. Like, I would consider this kind of within that line of category, just because it's such... Nike sometimes can sell for really high money because of the swoosh on it, but in this particular one, this is just a really well-made boot, basically. So that is what my specialty is working in the run specialty industry and be able to pick and resell shoes like that. But I also just try to pick kind of sometimes sneakers that I think are in fashion right now. I'm trying to pay more attention to what the youth are wearing. I'm 33, and so I'm kind of out of that range of like what, I don't know, like young youth are wearing. But this shoe, I was thinking, this reminds me of a running shoe that was made about 15 to 20 years ago, the look of it. And so the look of it actually has a really old look, but if you look on the inside tag, it's got a QR code, which means it's more recent, and a lot of times they'll be dated on here. This one, yeah, was made in 2019. And so this is a shoe that was made to look like a shoe from they're made to look vintage almost 20 years ago. And so this tells me that this look is kind of coming back into play. And so I picked these Adidas up. I'm not sure what the model name on them, but I picked these up and I paid $8.99 at Goodwill for these yesterday. We'll see how these go. I have no clue. This was kind of more outside my realm of what I normally do. All right, that was my haul from yesterday. I was really, really happy with all the good stuff. If I had just found these Nikes, obviously you guys can tell I'm pretty excited about them. I'd be happy. But let me show you the things that sold overnight. I've got like 4 or 5 things I think that sold. Let's get to it. Sold. First up that sold, thought I'd kick it off since I was just talking about the run specialty. This is the brand Ultra. You can see there's their logo right there, and this one doesn't necessarily, yeah, it says Ultra right there. This is the Lone Peak 3.5. This is a like 1 or 2 year old model shoe, so it's not the newest model, but you can see it is a trail running shoe by the aggressive lugs on the outsole here. You can see these knobs, that's what are called lugs. So this makes it a trail running shoe. Ultra is really unique because it has a natural foot shape. You can see the foot shape is made to look more as if someone's foot was splayed out rather than kind of pointier running shoes. The other thing that makes Ultra interesting is they have a 0 drop from the heel to the toe on the midsole. So the stack height of the cushion here all the way to the stack height of the cushion, the forefoot, from the heel to the forefoot, there is 0 drop. So most traditional running shoes kind of go like on a decline like that. But this one, so it's is even like that. It's supposed to be better for your hips, your low back, that sort of thing, and just mimic more natural running as if you were running barefoot. And so anyway, this shoe you can see is in just really super nice condition. I would call this like excellent condition, probably like a 8.5 out of 10 or so. And they were marked at $8 at a thrift store that I just went to in Arkansas. But when we got to the register, they just charged us $3. The Ultra Low and Peak 3.5 paid $3, turned it into $43 plus shipping on eBay. Sold. Paid just $5.99 at Goodwill for these cool pants. This is a really big bolo, K-U-H-L. I'll show you the logo. Here is how you spell that one, Cool, like that. Cool is kind of like a specialty hiking, outdoorsy brand, and there is the logo right there, the picture logo. Paid just $5.99 for those and got $43 plus shipping in a padded flat rate envelope. Sold. Sold this lot of 2 Polo Ralph Lauren long sleeve medium shirts, and it's brown and kind of like a cream. I paid $2 per shirt, so $4 total for that bundle basically. When it comes to Polo Ralph Lauren, I don't normally pick up if it's just a single. I only pick them up when I see a double so I can bundle them together. There is just so much supply for the Polo Ralph Lauren shirts on eBay. I find it's hard to sell just a single one. You really have to find a way to make your listing stand out. So obviously if you find more than 2, like 3 or 4 that you can bundle, it even sets your listing apart more. You want to make sure they're all the same size and like the basic same fit and everything, that the person who's going to buy all of them would be able to wear all of them. But this is a great way for a buyer to get a really good deal on shirts and for you to have only one listing and to get pretty good return on your money. Sold. Sold these Nike Tempo shorts right here. You can always see the Nike Tempo, recognize it by just kind of the design right here. They've looked the same for a couple decades now. You can see drawstring is good, and it does have a liner, no pockets. Paid $2.99 at Goodwill for these Nike Tempo shorts. I really thought they'd do better than they would just because of the color on them. I just thought the color was nice. These have come in probably just like a million different colors. What's really interesting about this Nike Tempo short is it's Nike's #1 selling running short for women, and this particular style of short sells more than Brooks Running altogether. If you know Brooks Running, the specialty running company, Brooks, this particular short sells more than all of Brooks running shoes combined, if that gives you any idea how popular this short is. This short would have done a lot better like if I had more than one pair and bundled them. That'd probably be the winning route on Nike Tempo running shorts. Paid $2.99 for those at Goodwill, got $8 plus shipping on eBay. I've got my packages from the weekend loaded up. I've got 2 bags here going to USPS, and then 1 box here going to UPS. Before I make it out to take out my packages though, I'm going to list 2 things. The reason why is I really believe the eBay algorithm likes it when you list things, and not only at one time of day, like if you typically list like at 2 in the afternoon or 3, just leave it till whatever time. I have a whole system, and I'll talk about that in a greater detail, I guess. But basically is whenever I source my items, I bring them here into the nest. They go somewhere on the floor, and then they get somehow organized, and then let's talk about shoes, for example. I would go ahead and take the shoes, I'd prep them by meaning like cleaning or scrubbing them if they needed any sort of cleaning like that. And I also stuff void fill paper in them just to help bring the form back to the shoe. And then I take my photos of them and then I list them. But the deal is I batch them. So I typically do like between 3 to 5 or 5 to 10 all at once in that system, where I prep 5 of them, I clean 5 of them, I take the photos of 5 of them, and then I list 5 of them. And so that's the strategy that I typically use in order to list, if that's different than yours, or if you're wondering what my strategy is. But like I said, sometimes you got to break out of that habit too, because I do believe the eBay algorithm likes it when you list more frequently throughout the day. I just personally believe that. So I'm going to be listing these Brooks Glycerin women's here, which are in super nice condition. Also got these at the thrift store that charged me $3 for those. And then, of course, the Nike ACGs. I want to go ahead and just say that the act of having to write down my times that I'm doing everything throughout the day is already improving my efficiency, because it's making me realize I need to just group together certain activities. Or like when I went out this morning, I probably should have my packages with me, and so it's been a really interesting learning experience. So if you're thinking about going full-time, I'd recommend before doing that, just when you're part-time, write down the times that you spend doing anything. At the end of this video, I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Currently today, I've driven 43 minutes when it relates to reselling. I've driven a little bit more than that, but how I'm determining what to count as reselling is basically if I have my stride, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. If you are a full-time or part-time reseller, you want to make sure to track your mileage because you can take that off of your taxes at the end of the year. And so I'm not affiliated with the app Stride in any way, but I use it. It's free, and at the end of the year, they send you a report for your taxes. It's really nice, and so it's just a nice tool to help you save money on your taxes. That, like, if you're driving to the post office, or if you're driving to a thrift store, or when you're garage selling, especially if you're driving a lot of miles on Saturdays, make sure to use some type of app or hand count your mileage just so you save a tax time. Had something to drop off at the UPS store today, something that the blow molds that were bigger. Anyway, spent a total of 10 minutes standing in line at USPS and UPS combined today. Second Goodwill of the day, wishing me some luck. This will be a buy. All right, at that Goodwill, I got two things. I got this vintage Pepsi vest. It's like a puffer vest, and what's really great about it, made in the USA, so definitely has a vintage look to it. The last one that was identical to one of these went for $75 plus, or I'm not sure about plus shipping, but on this vest, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for shipping. And then the next thing I got is this vintage Samsonite, like hard case luggage, and it's going for pretty good money on eBay. I don't know if I want to ship this, but I think in town I could, sell it pretty locally. I paid $5 for the luggage and $8.99. Let's see. Yeah, $8.99 for the Pepsi vintage vest. As far as listing goes today and getting things prepped, I've decided that I'm going to do 3 things at a time. Let me show you the 3 things that I'm getting ready, that I just finished cleaning and prepping, that I'm getting ready to do the photos and list. Got this little Oscar like cooler that I'm gonna list. Got this official Nerf softball. This thing is awesome. It's squishy. And then these little youth, like toddler Jordans. I'm pretty stoked about those as well. So my phone had a charge, so I went ahead and spent that time getting several more items prepped. All right, it's 4:50 this Monday afternoon, and I'm calling it quits for my reselling. Just my reselling activities. I'm getting ready to go to the grocery store, and it has nothing to do with reselling. So anyway, I totaled up the number of minutes I spent doing stuff today. I have to say, keeping track of timing yourself every time you're doing something that relates to reselling is kind of stressful throughout the day, because what I would normally do is I might do something reselling, then I might like do a load of laundry, and then I might go back to reselling, then I might clean the kitchen, or or like do the dishes or something like that. But anyway, so I try to stay more on track today, but still I think the numbers are just kind of off. But anyway, here's what it looks like. I spent as far as product goes, that we'll talk about that first, 45 minutes in prepping and cleaning products. Now I got only 5 items listed today, and I think that has to do with, again, just kind of being off from timing myself. Honestly, it just kind of threw me off my game. I normally like to list more like 10 or so items when I'm really, trying to stay on track. But anyway, I got 5 items listed. I did get more items than 5 prepped, though, because my phone was basically out of juice, so I couldn't take photos. So I would just spent that time cleaning and prepping item products. And with that, I include like weighing the items, so I know whenever I go to list it how much the item weighs. I spent 22 minutes taking photos of my items, or using I use a photo room app to basically make a white background on my photos, so I counted that as part of the photos. I spent 34 minutes in total listing my 5 items today, and that is, I listed all of my items on eBay, and I think like 3, or at least 3, if not 4 of them on Facebook Marketplace. I spent 16 minutes this morning shipping out my items. I spent 27 minutes thrifting. That's the actual time in the thrift store. That's not the time to like drive there and so on. I counted that as separately driving. This is scary. That's where I spent the most amount of my time, is in driving. 62 minutes in driving. I definitely want to cut that down. I made some I made some inefficient trips this morning, and so when it comes to maximizing my time that is valuable and what actually earns me money, driving doesn't really earn me any money. That's just something that's required to get from here to there, and so obviously I want to cut that down as much as possible. And not to mention, gas is just outrageous. It's like $3.09 here in Oklahoma right now, which that's really high for this area of the country. Next, I spent 10 minutes inside UPS and USPS getting my items scanned. Some people just drop their items in the box, but I really like to keep track of the analytics on my eBay seller hub, and I like to see that I have 100% of my items scanned in on time, ready to go. And so I stand in line every day at United, or hopefully every day. Hopefully I have sales every day at the post office to get my items scanned. I spent about 60 minutes on YouTube. I had guesstimate this a little bit because I'm making this video right now, so I had to tack on. Actually, the 60 minutes is going to be a lot higher than this because I'm going to edit my video, and so I'll have a real idea of how long it'll take me to edit my video after I make it. So this will probably be at least 90 minutes. It'll probably take me at least 30 minutes to edit this video, if not a little bit longer. And then as far as loading and unloading my truck, I spent 6 minutes doing that, and then messaging buyers 5 minutes. So that was my day today. I didn't calculate how many minutes I spent in total doing all that stuff, but like I said, I have a lot more to do tonight with editing this video for YouTube. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this series. It is interesting, like I said, timing yourself, because you'll be standing there thinking, I'm not doing anything. if you work from home and you've got like your where's my stopwatch? Got my stopwatch around my neck going, I'm standing here not doing anything, get back on the clock. And so it seems that making the transition from being an employee somewhere and getting an income, just if you show up, you get an income. It's really different than trying to figure out how to make income for yourself. But hopefully, like I said, you enjoy this series, and I'm learning how to become both a better boss and a better employee. It's interesting, like if I tell myself, okay, I'm going to work on unloading the truck, and then I go to work and unload the truck, but it's like I have to keep in mind, okay, here's the next task, here's the next task. It's just like constantly switch between being the boss and knowing what needs to be done from like a helicopter, scale, and then also being the boots on the ground when your own employee being the one having to carry out that task. And so it's kind of an interesting flip-flop of saying, okay, here's what needs to be done, and then let me carry it out. Here's what needs to be done, let me carry it out. So that's been the biggest struggle for today, is trying to do that in combined with the timing. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Early Bird Picker, Week in the Life of a Full-Time Reseller. I'm Rafa. Thanks again for watching. I'll see all y'all on the next video.